Hello everyone and welcome to Grammatically Incorrect News. This week, Xbox One prices cut in the UK, Blizzard gets Diablo 3 expansion ready and lays out plans for purchasable characters in World of Warcraft, the latest game releases, and the rest of the smaller news items of the week. Microsoft this week announced a price cut for the Xbox One in the UK, taking it down from $429.99 down to $399.99. That took effect on the 28th of February, this Friday just gone. This wasn't the only thing. If you wait till the 14th of March, you would receive a free digital copy of the upcoming multiplayer game Titanfall with your purchase of the Xbox One. The price change comes only after 3 months from the release of the console, and this bonus game offers puts it in similar price range with the PS4 if you purchase that console with one new game. Xbox UK Managing Director Harvey Eagles told Eurogamer, "The reason for doing this is about giving the gamers in the UK the best value we can with the Xbox One." That starts with this announcement we're making about this new price point, and continuing with the inclusion of the hottest game of the year, Titanfall. In terms of sales, this has been one of the most successful UK launches ever. I think we could say at this point already that both platforms are commercially successful, and I think that's great news for the industry. There has yet to be any announcements for a price change in Europe and America, but with less than 2 weeks off the release of Titanfall, I wouldn't be surprised if they made another announcement for those regions. Currently, the PS4 is outselling the Xbox One worldwide, but as Microsoft has paid the publisher Electronic Arts to not publish Titanfall on Sony platforms, I bet they're hoping the Call of Duty fanbase will flock towards their console for this one title. It is unclear if this will be the case, and we will have to wait and see. Blizzard Entertainment has been busy this week with getting Diablo 3 patched and ready for the latest expansion, Reaper of Souls, and did a bunch of interviews this week talking about the new World of Warcraft expansion, Warlords of Draenor. The 2.0 patch for Diablo 3 adds a new loot system, bringing it in line with the console version of the game, allowing for loot geared to your class and better chance of getting legendary gear. A new difficulty setting that scales with your levels instead of each area being specific to the game's structure, and Paragon levels that give you bonuses after reaching level caps will affect every character on your account now, and not the one hero. I've been playing this game again since the patch, and it's a fresh breath of air, giving the game new life in preparations for the expansion, which will include a new class, a new act, an adventure mode that creates randomly generated quests, so the game won't end when you finish Act 5. Blizzard has also been touring around Europe this week talking to the various press outlets about the upcoming World of Warcraft expansion, Warlords of Draenor. For people who don't know, when you purchase the new expansion, you'll be given one free leveled character boost to 90, but it was also confirmed this week you can purchase additional characters for the equivalent price of $60. Speaking to Eurogamer, World of Warcraft lead encounter designer said, "We realised as soon as we came out with Warlords of Draenor's boost to 90, we knew there was going to be a demand for more than one. In terms of pricing, honestly, a big part of that is not wanting to devalue the accomplishment of leveling. If our goal here was to sell as many boosts as possible, we could halve the price or more than that, make it $10 or something. But leveling is something that takes dozens of hours, if not over 100 in many cases, and people have put serious time and effort into that, and we don't want to diminish that. The reasons given by Blizzard are reasonable enough, but I can see why people are still upset that it costs so much and that people are just paying to win. But they've got to realise this boost to 90 won't take them to the very end game. They still have to do all the expansion content to get to level 100, which is the cap for this expansion. It's going to be very interesting to see how popular this feature will be when the expansion gets released later this year." It's time of the show to highlight some of the latest game releases and smaller news items for the week. Double Fine announced this week that the Kickstarter project Broken Age has now successfully funded for the second act of the game. The game, which initially got over $3 million in Kickstarter, went over their budget to make the initial proposed game they had planned. The ambitious game then got split into 2 halves so they could let people purchase the first half to help fund the second half to completion. It's kind of disturbing to hear this, especially since they had to release the first half on such a cliffhanger, but that is the risk of backing a Kickstarter project. They are not obligated to keep to the proposed plan since the backers are donating money and have no say in the matter. The second half will be released this year. Don't forget to check out my review for the first half to see if it is worth purchasing or not. Nintendo is shutting down their Nintendo Wi-Fi connection network for games on the Wii and the DS on May 20th. This will disable all online multiplayer games including Mario Kart, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and many more that use this service. The games can still be played offline, but a key feature of the game will now be locked off. I find it suspiciously fishy that the shutdown happens the week before Mario Kart 8 is released for the Wii U, but I may be just being a bit paranoid. Sony announced a couple more indie games coming to its platforms this year. Awesome Notes, the 2D massively online arena brawler which has been out on the PS3, will also be coming to the PS4 later this week. And in May, The Swappers, the stylish puzzle game, will be coming to the PS3, PlayStation 4, and the Vita. The Season 2 of Telltale's Walking Dead game will be getting its second episode this week, continuing the adventures of Clementine in the zombie apocalyptic world. I didn't particularly like the first episode because it had to spend time setting up all the new characters she encountered at the beginning of episode 1. Hopefully the story pace will be much improved now we don't have to get to know these characters. Atlus this week confirmed a whole slew of release dates for 4 of its upcoming Persona games over the next year in America. First off, Persona Q will be coming to the 3DS, telling the stories of the Persona 3 and 4 casts being thrown together in a dungeon crawler RPG game, and it's coming out during the fall of this year. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax is the follow-up to Persona 4 Arena and will continue the story of the last game and include a whole slew of new characters in this fighting game, which will be coming out in fall as well this year. Persona 4 Dancing All the Night is coming to the PlayStation Vita early in 2015, which is a music rhythm game using the music from the Persona 4 franchise. Finally, the highly anticipated Persona 5 will be coming out in America in 2015 on the PlayStation 3, and will be the first original Persona game since the PlayStation 2 era. All these games will be coming out in Japan this year as well, but there are still no dates for the European release of yet. Sony this week confirmed a round of layoffs at the God of War developers, Sony Santa Monica. The developer, who had 2 new IPs in development, along with helping the developers Ready at Dawn, who are making the Order 1886 for the PlayStation 4, confirmed one of these new IPs has been scrapped and was based in a sci-fi universe. It's always upsetting to hear about layoffs and cancellations, especially after last week's news of the developers behind the Bioshock franchise, Irrational Gaming, was restructured and laying off all but 15 members of their staff. Here's hoping they'll find new jobs quickly within this industry. Since I missed last week's news segment, I'll go all over the releases for the last 2 weeks instead. First up, this week's releases include online multiplayer team-based shooter Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare for the Xbox One and Xbox 360. Critics have claimed it a fun romp but doesn't really have much endgame, and will have heavy competition from other team-based shooters including Call of Duty and Titanfall at the beginning of March. Thief, the reimagining of the PC classic first-person stealth 'em up, was released on PC, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360 and Xbox One this week. Reviews have been quite critical of the game for dumb AI, buggy gameplay and just not fun to play. You can expect a review for Thief later this week on my channel. Castlevania Lord of Shadow 2 also came out this week for PC, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Following on from where the last game finished off with you now controlling Dracula in the modern ages and in the past as well. This action game from Konami is very over the top and doesn't take itself too seriously at all, and seems to be a lot of brainless fun, especially if you like the last game. Also, Patrick Stewart returns as Zobet and hams it up to 11.
Then a force so vast and terrible entered into me, expanding my knowledge of the dark arts until it reached unimagined heights.
The final release of this week is Tales of Symphonia, a HDified version of the classic PlayStation 2 JRPG game, now available on PlayStation 3 this week. The game includes the original game and the sequel, Dawn of the New World. The previous week's releases included Donkey Kong's Tropical Freeze for the Wii U, a classic 2D action game modernised on the Wii U. You can check out my review for this game by clicking on the annotation below, but to sum it up, this game is amazing. Rayman Legends got a re-release on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One as well. If you've still not played this game and you don't own a Wii U or Vita, then these versions are a great way to play this fast-paced action platformer. Rambo, the video game, was also released on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 and PC, and is a mix of a light gun game and quick time events. Unfortunately, the game looks like an old PS2 game and the audio for the game is all over the place. Earth Defense Force 2025 is another game in the popular brainless shooting game on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. You're tasked once again saving humanity from insects, aliens, dragons and more by blowing them up. Finally, Strider, a retelling of the original game, was released on PlayStation 3, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox 360 and PC. That's all your news for this week. If you've enjoyed, please subscribe to my channel and check out my reviews for Broken Age, The Last of Us DLC and Donkey Kong's Country Tropical Freeze. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.